talking about doing it sooner than later because of the state money, then they would, in this fiscal year, 16-17, be going out for architectural engineering design. So that's appropriate that it stays in this current year coming up. It's funny that the 60,000, I'll go out to that and just speak to what was you talked about, 60 million. I always do that.
like 60,000.
I always do that. We actually have it's already been penned. It's 34 million. We've changed that. It was a placeholder, and it was for as long as I was sitting on that committee. It was 50, 60. It was $70 million, and it's been a placeholder out there for a long time. And we still haven't gotten a plan. But you're right. The plan does say $60 million 4 years from now to replace the schools. I did skip over something that was mentioned about, the athletic fields back on page 3. That's a placeholder as well. That's not coming from this commission. It's coming from the Parks and Rec. I think with the well-publicized decrease in the younger population in this state going forward, next 20, 25 years, there's going to be a little less stress on athletic fields. I think with the pressure of building a couple schools in the next 7 to 10 years, a police station, I think that, building the soccer fields might take a lower priority. Frankly, it's been sitting out there for a long time, since Mrs. Hogan was first selectman, and we received a donation of that land, and it's been kind of sitting out there and floating forward. And you'll see next year some of these things will float out as well. There was one other thing that, the East Lyme Community Center expansion, line 418, you'll notice I zeroed that out. The library and senior center expansion, I zeroed out for now. No plans to do anything to that building, and trying to get a realistic number there, because there's been a lot of attention put to our bar graph and our debt and our planned debt, and I want to put realistic figures out there. And while we have a police station sitting there and a Niantic fire, and yes, we do have these recreation fields sitting out there right now. We know other things come up as well. So, but I've taken some things away.
It's open space right now. Yeah.
Free open space too, so maybe we can just knock that down to 0 and say this year we're satisfied. Any questions?
No.
Now, we're going to have to do a bottom line figure to forward.
I was going to,
Were you doing that?
I didn't have the bottom line yet, but I was just going to move to approve the capital improvement plan with the following changes. Under building maintenance, under security cameras, add 10,000, changing the total for 113 to 203,000. Under number 218, Flanders Fire Department, under thermal imaging cameras, change that from 13,900 to 7,000, which would change that. I didn't do the math for it. Change the line to a.
On that sheet, Mark, it has all the totals. You would just need to add 10,000 to it, everything.
The sheet you gave me tonight?
Yes.
Add 10,000 to the current,
Which
or just 2?
Yeah, to make up 10,000 to make up for.
So
camera,
996,806.
And
I'll
then,
tell you what,
and then we subtract
We subtract
150.
7,000.
actually
No,
we subtract
6,900.
6,900. 6,900 from that for the thermal imaging cameras.
And you need to reduce the
That's already off.
the detective car. 59.
I already have all this. You've
Okay.
given me this
Right,
budget.
Right. Thank you.
So
Roxbury Road.
we've taken the detective car off, thermal imaging, the band shelter was reduced to 25,000.
Demolished Roxbury Road,
50,
50,000 off of that.
The ACO facility was moved to the right. Animal control.
I was trying to think of the motion, Mark.
I'll make all the changes as you've approved.
Yeah,
It seems like a waste of energy, though, because I'm going to go in there on Monday and take off half of these
Well,
things because of the budget.
But this has to go to the Board of
Yeah.
Finance.
Okay.
Approve the capital improvement plan as adjusted by the Board of Selectmen.
yeah.
and then you can come up with a final figure.
And you have notes, right?
Because
Anna
it's
has
gonna
those.
be cut and pasted by Monday at noon because of the budget cut. So I just don't wanna,
But we have to approve something
Yeah.
tonight.
How about as
so-
reflected in the minutes?
yeah.
Okay, again, my motion then will be to move to approve the capital plan with the changes made at the Board of Selectmen meeting to reflect the changes made at the Board of Selectmen meeting of April 6, 2016.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Fantastic. Thanks, Anna, for your hard work on that.
Now, if reductions have to be made, are we discussing those at our next meeting? Are you going to call a special meeting?
You approved a budget. I went to Board of Finance. They cut it, and I have the discretion to make the necessary cuts. Do you approve it? Or does it just go back to Board of Finance for their approval? I was under the impression I make the cuts and it just goes to Board of Finance. I'll certainly tell you what the cuts are. But tell me, I mean, I get
I think
confused on the.
think it varies from
Yeah.
first selectman to first selectman. Some first selectmen come back and consult with the board as everyone's spent time reviewing it.
I
Others,
understand. Yeah.
others take the executive
And I don't mind
matter.
doing that. If you want to look at your
So-
calendars for Tuesday, I got to meet with them on Wednesday because we really got to get something to the public very shortly as well. So Tuesday night, I have open, and we could meet. I'll find a small room here, and it'll be a special meeting, and they'll post it. If Tuesday night's good for everyone, I'll let you know what the cuts are proposing, and I'd certainly take your input.
I will be available Tuesday, but
That's
Yeah.
it's special
I'm not
meetings.
either,
Can I get a quorum?
I'm available.
1, 2, 3. Dana, I need you.
For Tuesday night, I'll make it happen if you're gonna have it.
Well, I need you, but
Yeah, I'll
I
be.
don't want you to fly back from California or something for this meeting. If you're
No,
available.
I can.
Okay, so
I'll do it.
what?
Would you like to make it earlier? Is
I'd
it
be
a
happy to,
smaller, is
yeah.
it a smaller group?
Yeah. So and I'll find an available space. I'll post it, and you'll be notified.
That'll be the 12th?
Would 6:30 be okay? Would 6 be okay?
6 is fine
I was
with
gonna
me.
say even earlier would be fine.
6, 6, 6, 6.
6, 6, 6,
No, there's
6.
I can
four
do
of them,
6.
that's okay.
I can do 6.
Okay, so Anna, could you remind me? And you too? That way, yeah.
You want us all to send you an email
Could
in
everyone
10-minute
remind me?
increments? Thank you.
Let's go. Let's review our agenda and make sure we covered
Budget
most of it. We have budget
Actually, we gotta do,
transfers.
we have
And
appointments. too.
appointments.
and a budget transfer.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? In order,
sure,
appointments
no,
would
we'll
come
do the-
first?
Yeah, I'll do the appointment. Move to appoint Kim Kalajanian, I apologize for the pronunciation, last name, of 6 Catbert Lane, East Lyme, Connecticut, to serve as an alternate on the Inland Wetlands Commission through January 6th of
Second.
2020.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. I'll tell you, we haven't filled these positions for a while, so I'm making slow progress there. And I'm very thankful for Kim stepping up. Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, we have one more, I think.
Okay, move to appoint John Donnelly III of 38 Crescent Avenue, Niantic, Connecticut, to serve on the Commission on Aging Commission through January 6th of 2020.
Second.
It's been seconded. Any comment? John's a good man. I'm glad he's stepping up. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Wonderful. There is a budget transfer to E in on your agenda. Various transfers within departmental budgets have been necessary for various reasons. You'll see attached documentation for these transferred. They total just under $50,000, $49,948. $1,000,000.56. Information presented includes from account number, the description of the line item, and which account number it's going to. We've given you as much detail as we thought would be necessary and be helpful to you. I'm sure you had a chance to review some of this, and this happens more and more as we get closer to the end of the year.
Move to ratify departmental transfers in the amount of $49,948.56. Processed for fiscal year and June 30, 2016, and to forward to the Board of Finance for approval.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Comments, questions?
Yes, on the fleet fuel, this is to transfer money into that account, correct?
It's fleet fuel
Supplies
is
and land.
it's coming from the fleet fuel,
Going the reverse,
Yeah.
okay.
and it's
All
going
right,
to
I'm set.
supplies and landfill materials.
Good savings this year.
Any other comments, questions? I'll call the question, the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
And the security measures.
And we have, the last item is 2H, discussion and possible action, probably not, I don't know. Increased security measures in the town. We are a public building, we're a small town, but the world is a different world, and, you know, I've raised some concerns, and there's been some concerning moments. So we had discussion earlier in executive session about where we could take security measures, and I've asked your permission or your acknowledgement that as the first selectman and us as the board of selectmen take measures to increase security in some of our town buildings, including procedural changes and also, you know, security measures. So, you know, having discussion, I think we'll just leave it at that, and we'll be ongoing and looking into different security measures in different town buildings. We talked about cameras tonight, and so as part of our conversation, we talked about the glass in the lobby of the police station, including reinforcing doors in the police station and better locking systems in the police station as well. We have several points of entry on that building, and we're going to make sure that's always secure. And in other places and other items, and I appreciate your indulging me in the conversation earlier.
Well, I think as we have already agreed to put some money in the budget for that, I think that indicates you have the support of the board
Appreciate
for
that.
this.
Yeah. So we can move forward then. There's no unfinished business, there's no communications, information reports, ex officio reports. Thank you, Anna.
Considering the hour, and we've been here for so long, I'll pass on any exhibition.
As you had to cover for me for the Board of Ed, could you just give
Oh, I'm sorry.
a short update on that?
Yeah, that was.
I have some items on that too.
Okay, basically, that was the, I have to think back to, because
That was the last one where they voted on the school plan, right?
they didn't actually vote on the
No,
school
that
plan,
was
that time there was
the-
discussion.
Okay.
Presentation.
There was a presentation by Mr. Newton, the superintendent, on it. Then there was lengthy discussion by the board on the item as well, and I know that they still have another week to come back to vote on it, so that was the plan at that time. They heard a lot of input from the community. Also, there was a concern about, interesting enough, about a policy on, making sure, like, food allergies and so forth like that, doing a better job of educating the staff and so forth like that, which I thought was really well done by a couple of members of the public that, and parents that came, that people just aren't aware of how to respond and, just very basic precautionary steps to take. So I thought that was really impressive, just how to make students and faculty and staff aware of what to do. Simple things, just if you had something that might be a food allergen, just wipe off the table and clean it off afterwards. So I thought that was really good. But like I said, there was a lot of discussion regarding the school program and the school building program coming up. And then Roseanne
Right, thank you.
spelt me after that.
All right, so thank you for covering for
All right.
me. I don't have a report this evening.
I don't have a report.
The only thing, because time is of the essence, on the Smith Harris House on the April 9th, which is coming up, they're having a Spruce It Up Day. They need volunteers. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So if anyone out there is interested in helping out, I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
What was the date again, Dan?
I think it's going to be this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, the 9th.
Okay.
Right, yes, right.
Planning was canceled last night, and I attended the bi-monthly meeting of the East Lyme Public Library last week, and nothing new to report, just the library continues to provide an excellent service to the town.
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll try to make mine. Thank you for all you do. And I know you all have been at several meetings. We missed last meeting, so and I appreciate you just knowing the late hour, keeping reports short. But I know you're out there. I know you're representing, and your work is appreciated. Since we met last, we opened up the boardwalk, and to rousing fandom out there, pandemonium on the boardwalk. Yeah, you can write that down. And people are loving it. Of course, the Mother Nature is a little bipolar this season, so she gave us a little spring, and she's going back to
Emphasis
winter.
on polar. Yeah.
Polar. So that's happening. To address some concerns that came up earlier, I have to let Superintendent Newton speak for himself. When we received this proposal, it will be a proposal that we give a thumbs up or thumbs down on. We do not then engage in conversation about what the best plan is. That's for the Board of Education to do it. I'm not concerned about any illegal meetings or lack of transparency. There was a design/vision committee that was put together, and there's been several different makeup and definition of what that is over the last 5 years of work, and all the puzzle pieces were on the table. Initially, it was going to be Lily B. and Flanders, and then it got switched, and now we're at a different place. Where it got switched is coming in with a number that, when we went out to look at the bond numbers, we felt that it wasn't going to get through this commission, and most certainly wouldn't get through the Board of Finance, so it wouldn't even get to a referendum. And that was some of the comments. There wasn't votes taken, but that was some of the comments and concerns, saying, do we want to, dead in the water kind of thing. The Board of Ed, to my understanding, and I gotta let the Board of Ed and Mr. Newton speak for themselves on this, but they charged Mr. Newton to go back out, do some fact finding, and find a school building project that would work. To inquire to the Board of Finance what would work, to talk to bond counsel, our finance director, our independent bond counsel that goes out and could we sell municipal bonds at this number, at this rate, and to look what it would do to our debt service. So Mr. Newton went through a whole category of fact finding with an ad hoc committee, but not just solely that. And the ad hoc committee did not make decisions. They did not vote on a decision. They guided through independent people what they thought would work, and tried to help him come up with a plan. That's allowable. That's an ad hoc committee. That's a superintendent's fact-finding commission. It then didn't go with the decision-making. It went back to the design committee, which is a fully agenda, has minutes, has published minutes and such, and those folks made the final decision. And then it went to the Board of Education. And the bottom line is, none of those votes matter, or none of the information matters until it gets to the Board of Education. They decide where they want the school department, the public schools, to go. So again, it goes back to the Board of Ed and whatever they bring forward, whatever they plan, it's a thumbs up, thumbs down from this commission based on the plan of the town. Board of Finance will decide whether it is affordable to the entire tax population here, 17,000 people, not the 30% of the people that have kids in the school system, which are very important, and their schools are a lifeblood. But the entire population, if it would pass the muster, and then it would go to referendum. That's my comment on that. As for the Lily B property, eminent domain has come up. I'll back down from a statement saying we can't use that for anything but schools. That wasn't my intention. It is one piece of property, and the purpose of buying that was for the schools. Could it be repurposed for town hall? It was suggested at one time. For a police station, perhaps at one time, it was suggested. That would cost millions and millions of dollars to do that. And at this time, frankly, the town hall works for the town hall. And I don't think we need to spend another $5 million to make an old building new again and put town hall into that building. And then you have this building, so you'd have to make this repurposed for maybe the police. Maybe we'd sell it. But that's for the next generation of people who make decisions. Right now we're in a conversation about the schools. I know that as I watch the Board of Ed and also the design committee, their decision making wasn't hinged upon we can't do anything with Lily B except for schools. It was what was the best interest of the schools and where we can make the biggest impact. I don't think anyone's going around town other than the headline editor at the Day may have written a confusing headline about 2 schools for $34 million, but nobody in this town is talking about building 2 schools for $34 million. It's crystal clear we're building 1 school at a time, and when we get to the next school, we'll be using money that's 10 years down the line, so there's inflation, et cetera, that goes in to that calculation. You can't compare the cost of a school 10 years from now using today's money and today's values. But I have said on record that the most marketable piece of property would be the Niantic Center School. But that's not my end game. That's not my agenda. If that is the school that's abandoned and the school fully can't use it, and we decide not to put the town hall there and not to put the police station or possibly Niantic Fire, and we decide to sell it, that's marketable. You can't sell either one of the other 2 properties without. You might be able to sell the Lily B. Haynes School, but you'd have to subdivide the property first because it is all one piece of property. And I'm not sure what you'd want to put there in this municipal area with the library and senior center and ball fields and a middle school. I'm not sure if there's an appropriate commercial or industrial use on that property. Could it be done? Yes. That's in the record. Yes, it could be done. I'm not sure if we want to put, again, commercial or industrial or a police station with jail cells on the middle school property. But I don't think that drove the decision making, frankly. I don't think it did. That will come before us at some point. I heard it's going to be in about a month's time. We'll be getting that proposal. I'd like to just make a comment that we lost a hero in our town today. Young Maddie Garaya captivated us with her bravery, with her courage, and her family handled this. Let us come in with them and embrace this special gal, and I really applaud the family's grace under pressure. I think the family taught us all a little bit about a life lesson, and I am mourning like the rest of the town and the rest of the region, and heck, worldwide people knew of this struggle, and we're all a little brokenhearted tonight about that. So with that, that's my first selectmen's report. We'll open it up to public comment if there is any. Yes, ma'am.
So I've spoken at multiple town meetings lately. I do feel like everyone watches, and then business as usual proceeds. At the Board of Ed meeting, many, many, many parents got up and expressed their concerns about this new schools plan. And very limited discussion took place after that. But I was at the Board of Finance meeting here very recently when a local resident, Peter Naktenis, brought up the 1955 meeting minutes. And Mr. Nickerson, I was standing with him in the hallway when you said the town attorney's interpretation is that it can only be used for a school. Now, you just contradicted yourself there. So a lot of what drove this plan was the fact that town residents, the Board of Ed, people were told that the plan had to be derailed. That's what we have all been told. The plan had to be derailed because of the 1955 town minutes. And if now we're being told that that absolutely was not the case, I think even more so that very inappropriate things are happening in this town. Residents are being given terrible amounts of misinformation. So I do just want to get that out of the way first. I'm disappointed that you changed the capital improvement plan to the $34 million for the schools. I think that that is a huge mistake. And I would like to point out mainly some facts about Flanders School, the school that has been pushed down the road for 5 to 7 years before it goes out, even back to this committee to be approved as a plan, longer before it goes to referendum. The costs will be severely increased. The chances of it passing referendum will go down with every passing year. Maybe that is the plan in the end. Maybe the plan in the end is to just make Lily B. Haynes the one big giant school that no one in this town wanted in the original sets of plans. The meetings with the Vision Committee, the minutes of their second to last meeting do not say, Jeff Newton, please go find us a new plan. There's nothing in those minutes that state that. Then suddenly on the March 26th meeting of the Vision Steering Committee, they're presented with a new plan by Tim Hagan and Jeff Newton that was put together with 2 members of the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance. So again, more misinformation being put out. Even right now, they did not charge Jeff Newton go out and find a new plan. One meeting had one plan. At the very next meeting, this new plan is presented and pushed forward. But the main thing that really strikes me about this meeting tonight, and getting back to Flanders Elementary, I just heard a lot of concern from this committee that you need more safety in your building in this day and age. Well, I will tell you in this town who needs more safety, because you have altered a plan by not rebuilding Flanders School. You have put the lives of 350 children at risk because it is a school that 11 school shootings after Sandy Hook cannot be put into lockdown. The Band-Aid that Jeff Newton proposes for the locking vestibule does not fix every problem at that school. That school has a cafeteria that reaches unsafe levels of heat in the summer months, even with climate change going from late April, May, June, starting back up in late August when the kids are back in school. It's a little hot box if they don't prop the doors open. So either the kids will suffer in unsafe, overheated conditions, or they will prop the doors open. There is nothing in this Band-Aid for ventilation. So now I just watched you put forth a plan to increase your own security while you sit in this building, and you changed the capital improvement plan to leave 350 children in this town left in a school that cannot go into lockdown. And again, I have never been less proud to be an East Lyme resident. This is not acceptable to do to these children. Thank you.
A comment that I forgot on, it would be impossible to schedule meetings without conflict. Tonight, there were 2 or 3 meetings in this building. Last night, there were 3 meetings for sure in this building. Most of the meetings with Board of Finance, when they were meeting, were special meetings to talk about, deliberate on budgets, not specifically on Board of Ed, but one meeting was Public Works and Sam Smith House. Had nothing to do with Board of Ed. So, you got an education meeting was going on, but there's always going to be people that have multiple interests, not just schools and budgets, but multiple issues. And we can never, we'd have to shut down half our commissions or start meeting on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays to spread them out. We are very sensitive when there's overlap as much as possible. And then I'll tell you what, it was unfortunate the other night the Board of Finance had their deliberations the same night as a Board of Finance meeting, but there's no room for communication from the Board of Ed to talk to the Board of Finance. It was just the Board of Finance deliberating on the Board of Ed's budget, so they had to hear about it through a text, but instead of firsthand. But there was no, they weren't necessarily on the agenda for discussion. But it would be impossible, as we know, because the amount of work that goes on in the number of committees, to schedule one meeting at a time. But so I just wanted to be clear on that. And it's never the intention to put 2 like-minded, conflictual meetings on at the same time. Any other comments? Oh, I think we're done.
Move to adjourn.
Second?